What's up, guys? This is Tabletop Vibes, and today we're taking a look at Lockup by Thunderworks Games. Jason?
This is a fantastic game. It's great thematically, and it's a great successor to the previous role-player game.
Yeah.
So it really takes place in the same world. So if you like that game, you're really going to like this one.
Yeah.
And in this game, you basically take control of a group of thugs in a prison.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to escape per se. You're trying to be the biggest, baddest gang in there for the hope of freedom later. But that's not the point.
Freedom later.
But that's not the point.
Right.
That's not the point. You want to just rule that prison.
Right.
Yeah. So basically with this game, what you're going to do is on your turn, you're going to be putting your thugs all around the prison, in all various areas. And there's going to be other thugs that are there, which are your opponents.
Rival gangs.
Exactly. So they're going to battle it out in these various areas, and whoever is victorious is going to get some resources, some other benefits of the locations.
Some negatives.
Right. They're going to use your resources to buy item cards and to recruit, goons are what you're sending out, and then you recruit thugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're sending out your goons. So recruit thugs.
You're all in prison anyways.
You check to see if there's going to be a raid by the prison, because if things get too crazy, there's a raid. You reset, and you do this for 6 rounds.
Because as you're gaining goons and
the thugs,
you're raising suspicion.
Oh yeah.
So
they don't
that's
like
how you get these suspicion tokens. And then so with putting out your goons from your gang, you they have strengths on them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have one who is the enforcer, which then you can get power cubes to bulk up your enforcer.
Right. And then there's another one that is your lookout, which helps prevent you from getting the suspicions cubes, because if you're going in an area and you beat up the other goons that are there, there's the lookout being like, hey, everybody run.
Yeah, and there could be thugs there in that location too that have these suspicion tokens because they're looking suspicious.
Right.
So then you're trying to recruit them or fight in there, and your lookout's trying to help you not get caught.
Right.
And he's also a strength. Right. He can still win by himself.
And we're placing these out, they're all face down, so this is really more of like a bluffing part of the game. You know, am I going high? Am I going low? You know, where am I going to really focus? Right. And in each location, you can put up to 2 of your goons out. You can put 1 or 2. Game. But once you put it out, you can't put it again.
Right.
So there is kind of a, do I hold back and not put a lot out? Maybe my opponent really overloads in certain areas, and then I can freely go in other areas.
And then there's a decent benefit about going first.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to go first a lot of times because I was like, I'm taking this location to get bulked up on my power guy.
Right.
And I had a card, too, because your goons, thugs, we're going to mess this up every time, but it's going to be prison people, right? Had an end game that every time I had a power on my guy, I had to get an extra point.
Right.
So I went for that.
Right. So let's talk about some of the locations.
Yeah.
So
start with the first one.
First one, like you said, you got your exercise yard. That's
exercise the one you like. Yard.
Yep.
Getting jacked.
So that's the one where you're going to get more power cubes for your enforcer.
And the first player token.
That helps.
Then
Then you got your sewers, and this is going to be, you know, the crappy sewers. There's just garbage down there.
Yeah. What do you get there?
You get it's not your garbage tokens.
No,
it's
you get swamp.
No, it's your waste tokens.
Called crap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like,
agreed.
Agreed. You're getting crap tokens.
You're
100%.
trash tokens.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Then what's next?
No, it is literally crap.
Yeah.
Scrap. It's
Scrap.
scrap.
Yeah, there you go. Scrap tokens.
You know what I'm saying.
What's next one?
The infirmary, where you can acquire potions, and you're not buying this stuff; you're taking it illegally. And the next one?
The next one is the smithy.
Yeah.
And here, of course, is where you're going to be crafting, not crafting items, but you're going to be getting iron. So you're acquiring iron as a resource that's there.
Not making license plates in this game.
No, not at all. Then you got your commissary. You know, this is where everybody's starting to mingle. You're going to be trading goods.
Right.
And acquiring other goods.
It is the only place that you can get a gold.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes.
Which is very hard to come by.
Yeah, that's the rare resource in the game.
Yeah. And then you got your mess hall.
Yep.
Where you're trading with the gangs and with your goons, right?
Yep.
Ha.
So that's where you get your
trying
thugs.
to recruit the thugs to be on your team to do things. So.
Yep. Then you got your cell block.
Yes.
And here's where you're going to get your items. So you're going to get your shivs. You're going to get your throwing stars. You're going to get your chandeliers.
You need a chandelier.
You need it for some reason.
Because you got to be able to read.
This is the majority of where the points are. So these cards are actually worth huge amount of points.
I saw a 19 in there.
Yeah, I had a 20.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is where you're going to trade a lot of your resources in order to get your items, but you can only do one per turn.
Well, and you have to trade these. You have to go for these cards because on your player board, you can only hold a certain amount of goods each round, and they get discarded if you don't use them. So you're like, you can acquire as much as you can during that round, and then you're going to have to downsize to 3. I think it's 5 and then 3.
Yeah, well, it all depends on what you're.
Yeah, if you're playing a 2-player game or a 4 or 5-player game, it literally plays 5 people. This can get crazy.
It's really crazy. So, just because you lose, that doesn't mean you're out on each of these locations. I really like that they did this. I always like when they have a losing mechanic in the game. It's kind of a nice balance.
Everybody still wins.
So basically, everybody who lost, everybody who won gets the resources or their abilities.
Right.
Everybody who lost goes to the library. Because
each location.
That's the great spot to go when you're a loser, is the library. You know, it makes sense.
It's like still in high school. The same things are still applying in board game world.
And basically, you're going to be getting tomes. And these tomes are one-off abilities. They, again, kind of do a little balancing mechanic, kind of do a little game-breaking mechanic cards.
Yeah, allows you to, like, peek underneath and see somebody's tile.
Yep.
Add another tile to a location after you already put it out.
You can get extra resources. You can pull thugs back.
Make people lose power, gain suspicion.
Gain power.
I mean, they manipulate the game.
Yeah, exactly. And as I found, I kind of went heavy on these, and they're really good. I really liked them.
He also won.
Yes. Even though I was losing in each location, that's how I got all the tomes. Yeah.
So library, gym, and you see what happened. And again, still same in life. Okay.
Yeah. So again, you'll be playing this over the course of 6 rounds. Sorry, forgot about the suspicion. The suspicion thing. So, in addition to the resources, when you put out thugs, they may also bring suspicion tokens out.
Yeah.
These suspicion tokens, when you collect them, once all of them have been exhausted from the board, so there's probably 15 of them or so.
I'd say.
And when you can't put any more out, then a raid happens. And when a raid happens, no, it's not. So you just look at who has the most points and the second most points, and
suspicion tokens.
Suspicion, yes.
Yeah.
And they'll lose points. They'll lose reputation because of that. They were too aggressive. The guards are beating them up, and
you got found out. You're not as good as you thought you were.
That's right. Their gang's getting beaten up, and people are like losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the library.
So they'll lose some reputation points, and then you reset all of the influence suspicion. Yes, yeah.
And you put it back on the guys that just came out again.
Right. So again, more balancing mechanic.
Right.
Getting too far in the lead, it's really going to help you. So I like this.
And you can give people suspicion, like we were saying, so you can focus heavy. Because on top of the thug cards, thugs, see, you can also gain abilities and gain cubes or pass cubes or things like that. So.
Right. And see, this is also where kind of the engine is going in the game. So with your thugs, you have end game abilities. You have abilities throughout the game. You
gain a cube, push a cube.
Yep. You have gaining cubes when you get the thug, so you can kind of chain the various card buys. Your item cards not just are points, but again, also could be various abilities. It could be
you also have valuables. They're like little tags in the sense of tag system where you can make more points off at the end of the game.
Yep.
And then you also have end of game points.
Right.
And you have trait cards that you can do for an advanced thing, which is really cool. The trait cards, if you've ever played Role Player, you gain a trait. Always play trait cards. It's just way more fun. It's like a starting bonus that you get, or hindrance, sort of. You'll see when you play this game.
And that's what I like about the game is that what they did is they took it in the same environment and they put a little bit of iconography and a little bit of rules.
And it's a new game.
Right, to be a little similar, but it is definitely not the same game. Right. Totally different
lore game. Follows the lore path. The iconography follows Role Player that if you've already played somewhat. There's some new stuff. Not enough to be like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then there's also a bunch of new things that makes this game fresh and fun. So, I mean, it's a blast. There's also an expansion for this where it adds like catacombs where you can be searching through the catacombs with your seeker. We're not going to show any of that because that's a spoiler. And so you get to like climb through the catacombs, making even more points. And if you can make it out to the other side, it's even more points. So again, you're just making points on points on points. You get to have a leader. You get to have traits. You get to have end game points that you score. You have 3 different end games: instant, end game, and leader. Wow, nailed it. And so, I mean, it's a blast.
Yeah, this is great.
But you don't have any dice, and you're putting tiles out.
And between the two of us, it took about an hour to play.
Yeah, or less.
So relatively quick game and a lot of fun.
And I think it would be nuts at 5.
Oh yeah.
Like in a good way. Like everyone's breaking out, fighting everybody, and there's also a double-sided board that changes up the location spaces. So it's a blast. Check it out. And as always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let us know where you ended up in high school, the library or the gym.
I think we know the answer to that.
We know the answer to ours. I lost this game, just so you're aware. We'll check you next time.